everyone's time, including these members. So we're gonna do a mini lightning round, 1 minute each. Closing remarks, whatever you all want to share. But I would like to ask if you want to share, when you go to sleep at night and you reimagine a free world of equity and accessibility, what would be the first thing that you would do? And that you wouldn't have to be serving in Congress because everything was beautiful and everyone was free. So what would be the first thing you would do in a real free world? We'll start with Congresswoman Machida.
Oh no, I thought we just did a 1 minute.
Yeah, 1 minute.
You can do that.
Okay, or share whatever you would like to share. At the beginning, Congresswoman.
All right, shout out to Rasha. Let me just say that. Thank you, Rasha. For this movement. You know, the reason why I said I was feeling good as hell is because whenever I'm with movement family, I feel good. I feel emboldened. I feel resolved. I have clarity. Very often, I say the squad is big. Although from a congressional standpoint, it is growing, it has always been more than the members of Congress that people have characterized as the squad. I love what we do together, what we do in this movement, because they sought to weaponize something that is beautiful. To weaponize and to vilify, but we, as a people, are used to that. But we are winning. And so that's the message I want you to get coming out of this. Organized power is realized power.
Yes.
Organized power is realized power. And I will not pretend that there are not dangerous, draconian, or white supremacist forces at work every single day. But in the midst of it all, this movement is growing. Now, policy is my love language, and I'm serious about that, because a lot of the harms, well, every harm that we've named here didn't just happen in the ether. It was something codified in somebody's budget. It was something legislated. So the way that we undo centuries of harm to the marginalized and be enfranchised is through organizing and mobilizing to move policy. Because we already know what it is to experience and live in legislated hurt and harm. Now, let's know what it is to live in legislated equity, healing, and justice. It is possible. It's very simple. Who you vote for determines who's elected. Who's elected determines what the policies are. And the policies determine who lives, who dies, who survives, and who thrives. So it all comes back to policy. And progressive policies are sorely needed and very freaking popular. And despite their efforts, because we don't just experience attempts to marginalize from the other side, despite attempts and efforts to fringe the issues from this movement, we are winning on taxing the rich, on universal basic income, on student debt. I do believe we will ultimately win that, so I gotta say
Congresswoman, did you give a memo to
fair free transit? You know, we're winning. Yeah. What else?
Congressman, didn't you give a memo to Biden with Senator Warren regarding student debt to tell him to use the Higher Education Act?
Let me just say this, because I'm gonna get in trouble if I start taking questions from the floor, okay? But I want to say on student debt and where that fight stands right now, it is in the Supreme Court. By the way, expand the courts. Reform the courts, expand the courts. And it's not that radical, y'all. There is precedent. It's been done 6 times before. It's far right, it's extremist, it's imbalanced, and they are causing great harm. That is where the student debt issue is right now. But that being said, we're all organizers, and no organizer goes into a fight without a contingency plan. We have them, but I'm not ready to see defeat here because the legal case is sound. The legal case is sound. So, you know, stay tuned on that, because we know that that was a motivating issue in the midterms for many. This is a transformational, consequential issue, and we're not giving up this fight. So in the fact that we made it this far, first they said the president didn't have the authority, then they said it would be regressive in impact and only benefit white graduate students who went to affluent schools, and we have challenged and proven all of that wrong. This is a huge coalition of impacted borrowers, civil rights organizations, union workers, presidents, tradesmen and women. But my point is, the progress that has been made is because of the movement. So I'll just close by saying this.
It is progress.
And it is progress. And listen, 60 million people have already benefited from this relief. Provided the Supreme Court follows the letter of the law, 1 in 4 black borrowers will have their debt zeroed out completely. This is 40 plus million people that stand to benefit. Did we want more? Did we fight for more? Yes. But Pell Grants are our most burdened recipients. And the fact that $20,000 worth of debt will be canceled for Pell Grant recipients and $10,000 for non-Pell Grant recipients, that is progress. The legal case is sound, the president has the authority, so let's see what the Supreme Court does. But my point here is, as much as I want government to lead, more often than not, government does not lead, but it does respond to pressure. And so we have to keep it up. So I thank you all for recognizing that movements and revolutions require resources. So we thank you for your investment, and we thank you for your solidarity in this movement. The squad is big, y'all.